Hello again, friends. Welcome to a very special edition of Investment Immigration Conversations. I'm Carolyn Lee, Principal and founder of Carolyn Lee PLLC, a U.S. investment immigration law firm dedicated to helping clients build their future with investment immigration. Happy Thanksgiving. It's the day before Thanksgiving in the United States. And this indeed is a very, very special episode, edition, call it what you will, of Investment Immigration Conversations. And it's very timely as well, this season of Thanksgiving. And I am truly, truly so grateful for all of life's many, many gifts and blessings. One of the chief blessings of which is this very industry and practice, EB-5. It's given me so much. It's built my career. It's been an unexpected journey. And what better way to give thanks than to give back? And that's the subject of our conversation today. EB-5 for good. EB-5 permanence and doing good for our community. So it's a double entendre. This is where the literature major geek is coming out. In my many years of French, double entendre. It's EB-5 for good, forever. And it's EB-5 for good, the good of our communities. And we're bringing to fore two of the advocacy priorities that we talked about back in September. So why EB-5 forever? Why that as the number one most important advocacy priority? I believe this with all of my heart. Because we need stability. We need reliability. We need order. We need to avoid the drama and the melodrama of the periodic sunsets and what now and what to do and the excitement that it causes and the nadirs that follow thereafter. It's about stabilizing. And it's about building that platform, that solid foundation from which this program can continue to grow and improve. And I've used this analogy before. What makes our securities laws such a stable platform, so reliable, so respected? It's in no small reason due to the fact that the laws are nearly 100 years old. The 33 Act, that's 90 years old. 34 Act, 40s Act, the foundations of our securities laws are based on that foundation that was laid so long ago. And then you build on that. We have the EB-5 Reform and Integrity Act, this wonderful law, but it was enacted in 2022, just 3 years ago. So we need to make minor adjustments, make it even better. We need to make it permanent. I really see this as the responsibility of those of us who have been in this space for so long and have benefited from it. And it includes advisors and the entire community, including investors, right? This has worked for us, and may it work for future investors and future generations. And we can help with that by building permanence in EB-5. So please join me. How do you do it? Don't really know yet, we can start by building a community and focusing on this advocacy priority. We've got a runway of 2 years, really practically speaking, less than that. We have the sunset of the grandfathering provision, September 30, 2026. We have the sunset, again, of the RIA, the EB-5 Regional Center Authorization Act, September 30, 2027. So together, let's come together. Let's make this a priority. Let's make it happen. Let's make the EB-5 Regional Center program permanent. Okay. Email contact@Carolyn Lee PLLC.com. Subject line EB-5 for good. All right, the second part of this, doing good in our communities through EB-5. This is something that I've thought about for a long time, because my motto in life is have your cake and eat it too. How do we optimize? How do we just build on what's good and make it great? And so could we imagine using EB-5 for these incredible, helpful uses that help build our communities and improve our landscape? And I've got some examples. So timely. As you know, I couldn't, we were scheduled to go live last Wednesday, and we postponed it. That very day, happened to be looking at my usual media, of which New York Times is one. And I read about 50 states in our beautiful United States doing 50 wonderful things. 50 states, 50 fixes is what the title of the article was. And I'm just going to read them because they're quick and they say it all. It says, the article starts, now more than ever. These are examples of the good things we could do with EB-5. Now more than ever, environmental solutions may seem out of reach, but they are happening all over the country. This year, we'll be highlighting one thing that's working in every state. And you know what? I am going to read all 50. Alabama. In Alabama, a social media influencer really gets wild. Kyle Liebarger built a loyal following online by talking about native plants and why biodiversity matters. Yay. Alaska, beautiful state of Alaska. Alaska tests a theory. Solar farms help nearby crops grow. Produce and power are both costly in the state, so researchers are testing ways to address both issues using the same land. Same idea, have your cake and eat it too. Arizona, living car-free in Arizona on purpose and happily. No sacrifices. One community near Phoenix is taking a completely different approach to development. Read more about it, we'll send you the link. California, how to revive California's underwater forests, smash a spiky, hungry foe. Cove by cove, scientists, divers, and volunteers are hauling up urchins to protect kelp. Now, I don't know about smashing these living beings. Urchins are a delicacy. Perhaps, California, we can ship them off to a restaurant or restaurants. In the vein of have our cake and eat it too, let's optimize and do good and do great. Colorado. Bridges and tunnels in Colorado are helping animals commute. The state has emerged as a leader in building wildlife crossings. Good for you, Colorado, which can save animals money and human lives. Triple. Connecticut. Shell recyclers in Connecticut are helping oysters find homes. A small team is rescuing a ridiculous amount, in quotes, of shells from restaurant trash bins and using them to rebuild oyster habitat in Long Island Sound. Sounds like a fantastic idea. Delaware. Do coconuts go with oysters? For saving the Delaware shore, yes. Along with other East Coast states, Delaware is using natural materials to protect vulnerable coastal areas. Florida. In Florida, powerful little plants that protect from big storms. On Sanibel Island, volunteer mangrove mamas and propagule papas grow red mangrove seedlings to restore critical habitats and strengthen shorelines from future storms. We know storms happen down there, causing much havoc and destruction. Georgia. In Georgia, a sponge park floods so a neighborhood won't. Dozens of houses were raised across a flood-prone neighborhood in Atlanta, mitigating floods and creating a long-desired park in the process, right? Little destruction to build and make better. That's the best kind. Hawaii. At this clinic in Hawaii, nature is the medicine. That's no surprise. A neglected parcel of land was restored by volunteers and patients at a community medical center. Along the way, their health also improved. Idaho. They're in hot water in Idaho. Here's why that's a good thing. Nearly 500 buildings in the state capital get their heat from a clean, renewable source located deep in the ground. Illinois. An Illinois building was a bird killer. They were crashing into these glass high-rises. A simple change made a world of difference. Chicago is one of the most dangerous cities in the United States for migrating birds, and a glassy lakefront conference center was especially lethal. Well, you know what they did? They put in polka dots on the glass that prevented the birds from crashing into these windows and have saved, I mean, the bird saved, or the 95%, it's a very high percentage of good that's been done with this fix because people cared. They put their attention on that. Indiana. In Indiana, putting up solar panels is doing God's work. A cluster of evangelical groups in the state is pushing for environmental action. Leaders say they're following the biblical mandate to care for creation. Iowa, great state of Iowa. Iowa City made its buses free. Traffic cleared, and so did the air. Ridership jumped, people cut back on driving, and over the summer, the city extended the program another year. It was proven. Kansas, be happy, B-E-E, happy. They're saving pollinators in Kansas. About 97% of the land in the state is privately owned. Meet the people helping to make it friendlier for native bugs. Our pollinators love our fruit, love our bees. Kentucky. A miles-long cave in Kentucky was a smelly disaster. Now it's spectacular. Hidden River Cave was once filled with heavy metals and sewage that made the surrounding town smell awful. After a cleanup, it became a tourist draw. It's beautiful. Louisiana, fighting Louisiana floodwaters with patches of green. Simple, affordable initiatives like rain gardens are helping to soak up water in New Orleans. Maine. Why shop? In Maine, the Library of Things has it all, almost. One town's effort to make pricey items accessible and encourage people to buy less stuff seems to be catching on. Okay? Buying less doesn't necessarily mean it hurts the producers, because you can produce things that are built to last and charge more. Maryland. Maryland protected nearly a third of its land, and it's reaching for more. 9 states have set goals to conserve 30% of their land by 2030. Maryland got there first. Yay, Maryland. Massachusetts, care about food waste? In Massachusetts, you can be a compost consultant. It's a dirty job, but someone gets to do it. She goes around restaurants and she audits their food waste and figures, gives them ways to compost the food waste and have other organizations pick up food that's edible and usable by other people. Wonderful. Michigan. Satellites and drones are unlocking benefits hidden in plain sight in Michigan. Technology is helping farmers use land and fertilizer more strategically. Sometimes the best practice is no chemicals at all. Minnesota. Minnesota teens are fighting climate anxiety with shovels. Run by teenagers for teenagers, the Green Crew helps students get their hands dirty with projects like tree planting, trail restoration, and invasive species removal. Fantastic, right? Mississippi. They kindled froggy romance and rescued eggs to save a species in Mississippi. Fewer than 100 dusky gopher frogs were known to remain. Thanks to some very dedicated humans, numbers are now on the rise, and you should see the picture of this frog. He is smiling. Missouri. How a funeral director brought wind power to rural Missouri. Every year for nearly 2 decades, the small city of Rockport has been producing more electricity from wind energy than it needs. Just like this gentleman driving, and he was inspired by seeing these wind turbines. Montana. Grizzlies were raiding Montana farms. Then came some formidable dogs. Bears have recently acquired a fondness for the good eating found around grain bins in Montana's plains. That's a big problem for humans and grizzlies alike. Well, these fantastic dogs are just warning the grizzlies, look, humans are here and human stuff is here. So you guys stay away. And it's avoiding the conflict, which just isn't going to end well, right? So what a wonderful solution. Nebraska. In Nebraska, makeovers for buildings that don't price out the locals. In a struggling area of Lincoln, a program pays for repairs and energy efficiency upgrades in rental buildings. In return, landlords must keep rents affordable. Sounds like a nice quid pro quo. Nevada. Nevada is all in on solar power. Well, they got lots of it. Nevada leads the country in solar generation per capita. It's not just about homeowners betting on it, but casinos too. Roll it. New Hampshire, cutting emissions the roundabout way in New Hampshire. Remind me to tell you about our roundabout experience en route from Paris to Rouen. Despite its small stature, the city of Keene has become an example of the safety and climate benefits of swapping traffic lights for roundabouts. New Jersey. In New Jersey, benefits bloom in tiny forests. A nonprofit planted 5 microforests to tackle environmental problems in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Scientists say they're making a big difference. New Mexico. How native homes in New Mexico are tapping the sun. An indigenous-led nonprofit group is bringing solar power to Navajo Nation and the Hopi tribe, where about 15,000 households lack access to electricity. New York. On the menu in New York, one repair coming right up. The state leads the country in repair cafes, which bring neighbors together while keeping all manner of items out of the trash. Love that. North Carolina. North Carolina's bogs have a dirty secret, and that's a good thing. Peat bogs have huge potential to store planet-warming carbon. The ones in North Carolina just need some help to get healthy again. They need help? North Dakota, driving an EV across North Dakota, thank the Standing Rock tribe. A tribally owned network of chargers will soon be complete, connecting reservations and bridging gaps in the Midwest. Ohio. These Ohioans got a deal on solar panels. Here's their secret. A group of homeowners work together to navigate the process of installing rooftop solar systems, saving time and money in the process. Oklahoma. Now, how a water conservation idea won over Oklahoma farmers. Haunted by memories of the Dust Bowl, Oklahoma farmers have adopted conservation practices that have helped to revive about 100 streams. Yay, Oklahoma. Oregon. From Oregon, a chocolate cake, did anybody say chocolate? That changes hearts and minds. The Portland area is a hotspot for vegans who have the most environmentally friendly diets. It has also yielded a game-changing dessert. All right, that is definitely a scroll too. Pennsylvania. Why this Pennsylvania city put its streetlights on a dimmer? After passing a dark sky ordinance to curb light pollution and save energy, Pittsburgh is installing adjustable streetlights. Rhode Island. A Rhode Island wind farm changed their view and their lives for the better. Offshore turbines let Block Island shut down spot spewing, ear-splitting diesel generators. There were other benefits too. Read all about it. South Carolina. Freedom comes to my mind. Saving family, legacy, and land in South Carolina. Conservation can be tough when a property is passed down informally over generations with no clear title. A growing effort is helping families sort it all out. Tennessee. Forget Love Island. Tennessee has an Isle of Goats. Eco-grazing goats help clear overgrowth worldwide, but rare is the herd that has to get to work by boat. Sounds intriguing? Vermont, the great state of Vermont. This Vermont soccer team plays for the planet. The Vermont Green Football Club champions environmental work and draws sold-out crowds with the help of free ice cream. I'm there. Virginia. Virginians are restoring a forest economy built on herbs and tradition. Farmers have banded together to make the market for herbal supplements and remedies part of Appalachia's cultural heritage, more sustainable and more profitable. Washington. In Washington, birds are giving Yelp reviews of forest restoration work, or perhaps PEEP reviews. A collective of land trusts, conservancies, and tribes is capturing bird song with audio gear and AI for clues about habitat health. West Virginia. How West Virginia is pulling pollution and rare earths out of its streams. Abandoned coal mines had left waterways acidic and rusty orange. Local residents are cleaning them up and recovering valuable minerals in the process. That sounds like a win-win. Wisconsin, this last one. They're small, but they're mighty. Meet the Wisconsin sisters healing the land. I can tell this is going to be a good one. The women of Holy Wisdom Monastery have restored 170 acres of native prairie and oak savanna. Quote, humans need creation to find ourselves, one said. Right. All right. So I hope you're as inspired as I am by those stories of wonderful, amazing projects locally that resonate with the people who are right there? And can we bring EB-5 to these projects like those projects? All right, now, we said a contest will be announced at the end of the webcast in furtherance of EB-5 for Good. So the winner of this contest will get pro bono 956F preparation and filing services from Carolyn Lee PLLC. We're going to put our money, our resources where our mouth is. And we also invite our wonderful friends in the ecosystem, corporate and securities attorneys and business plan writers and economists to join the band and help the winning project that is doing EB-5 for Good launch its probably first EB-5 project without cost or without advisor cost. Okay. All right, so criteria. The examples that we have walked through are really fantastic examples of our criteria. They can be in terms of location, urban core high unemployment areas, low income rural areas, infrastructure that delivers a needed community good, national interest projects, including environmental protection and land stewardship projects, resource conservation projects, projects protecting our waterways, cleaning up our waterways, projects supporting vulnerable populations, projects supporting veterans, our wonderful veterans, projects building community spaces, purposeful community spaces, projects fostering cultural traditions. We had some wonderful examples. Building or renovating libraries, fostering the arts, beauty, supporting education with a focus on improving academic performance for underserved students. Competitive world, let's help our kids. Enhancing healthcare. And in both conventional and unconventional respects. Engendering socially responsible AI, training displaced workers, and training new entrants to the workforce. These are both examples, criteria, selection criteria for the winner of our contest. Okay, for an EB-5 project that will do good, EB-5 for good. All right, folks, it is the day before Thanksgiving. Well, all right, somebody asked, what is the email? The email is contact@CarolynLeePLLC.com, CONTACT@CarolynLeePLLC.com. Cannot wait. This is going to be good. EB-5 for good. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. Thankful for all of you. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. And we'll be back next month. Be well.